What's happening, everybody? Does that work? Yeah. What's up, guys? I feel really called to make a check-in to update everyone on how I'm doing, where I'm at. We just hit 400 subscribers. I'm putting on all messages. I'm getting better at this. It says there's nobody in the chat, but somebody liked it. So we're here. Let me try to get it. It's cold, so I know I should set up, but it's cold, man. I'm out 17%. How's that? If I do it like this, I'm in my tent. I'm out in the forest. It is below freezing, but it's not too bad with the winter parka. So I'm pretty. It's not that. It's not that bad. I quit cigarettes a couple weeks ago. I don't. It's not a great look for people scroll. Holy shit! I look like Paranormal Activity. All right. I'm going to get. The veil is really thin. We had the Scorpio supermoon. Supposedly in astrology, it's the most important week of 2024 in terms of transformative energies. But Delete Laws knows who I am now, and I told him that they didn't have my identification. They were going off a hunch, and they maced me and ripped me out of my tent. And then they went into my tent and took things that I didn't give them permission to take. And that's just one out of like 7 different arrests. So I don't know what's going to happen there, but I keep getting patients over and over again. The veil is very thin. The veil's really thin, and mostly all I'm hearing from what I hope are my ancestors or spirit guides is just it's going to work out, and patience. It's all positivity until I leave the tent, and then once I leave the tent, I mean, every day is a battle. I don't think I'll sit here, I'll try to put presence down into my spine, try to move back into my body where my nervous system is activated and I'm present to the moment and I'm not completely disassociated out of my body somewhere. And the crows get activated and they scream at me and I feel them rip, like they will rip and eat your spirit, and it feels like you're being violated and you get cold. And then it's like some type of spell work where they hit you with something that all of a sudden they lock my consciousness in place. I'm in a constant battle every day, like every moment of every day, fighting to be present to the moment. And I have an obvious systematic oppressor in trying to enslave my consciousness. And when I get better at beating it, they get violent. And it sucks to have it sucks I hate having an audience that watches. It makes I'm grateful because I know I'll have more potential, but I see what like every content creator I've ever met has told me that you have to see him. You never like you might say that you love your fans, but you can never have a real relationship with them. That's why Markiplier cried and got famous for it, because he realized that people are sick. But I have an army of tarot readers that are crying and calling me out by name at 4:44 on the live. I have people that are being shown the good people, the needles in the haystack, are being shown my life from across the world, and they're encouraging me, so I keep going. I came in here with trying to make it a better place. I went to all the community action programs. I started building relationships in the town. I had this Kundalini awakening. It happens to me like once a month, where I finally, like, days, every day, 12 hours a day, pushing myself in this for 10 years now. More than 10 years, because even when I was living with my mom as a child, I was still doing this constant perseverance against the matrix. As a 33 life path born in the 11th, where the world feels designed to kill me, and I just can't take that, so I just keep going, and it degrades you. It gets me to a point where all I can do is just, like, grunt at crows sometimes, and then I'm supposed to go in society. But basically, I've had police, 3 different cops, trying to scare me for months and keep me in this state of fear. And then it feels like there's something else that siphons my life force energy. And I've seen so many times where I sit and I come up with my identity and I build myself up. I work really hard. I do push-ups. I used to practice stand-up comedy in the mirror. And then I'd go to school. And I had a room full of Legos when I was a child. I played a lot of Minecraft, so I always was building skills and building myself up. So feeling like that I have that stripped from me, and then the things that I create, it's like they take it. It feels like I build myself up and I create something that's inhabiting this body. Like I animate myself from my exalted fifth dimensional space. I create me again, and I get back into public and start playing the game and having fun. And it feels like they target me, they beat me down, they rape my spirit, and they eat it, and then they try to become me. And it happens so much that they'll make up stories to lie to police, hoping that the police will kill me because they didn't like how I walked past them in a store. And it's my own parents half the time. Most of my trauma has come from my mother and police. Pretty much all of my trauma has come from my mother and police, and then 4 different pedophiles. 4 pedophiles, my mom, and police have caused me a decade and a half of trauma. But I've gotten pretty good at it. I've gotten, like, that last live stream wasn't a great example because my voice was high pitched. Because I felt like I'd been getting eaten by crows for weeks, where they'd just been ripping at my spirit. So I sounded like Fuzi, who says he's going through the same thing with feminine mass MK Ultra mind control programming. But from Brattleboro all the way through Vermont, Brattleboro, Springfield, Montpelier, Bellows Falls, Randolph, Northfield, Roxbury, St. Johnsbury, Montpelier, if I didn't say it already, Waterbury, Morrisville, Newport, Burlington, St. Albans, Shelburne, Pittsford, Rutland, West Rutland, Brandon, Killington. Where else? I know there's more. Manchester, not really. Just one diner in Manchester when I was 11. But all those other places I invaded as a stranger, met all the locals, got attacked by the locals, persevered through their attacks, leveled up beyond them, became a role model, got the bad bitch, and then left. Or in some cases, just kept going until the police got humbled. And the kids that hurt me got to see me ride off in a nice car, or got to see the girls look at me when I was a homeless bum, traumatized, that persevered, worked out, got tan, got showered, got nicer clothes, got a car, and then picked some of them up. Or I've met tons of famous people. The past 10 years, I've met like 30 different famous people you'd see on your For You page. And the first one was Cheap Trick, and then Ray William Johnson, and probably a lot more that I didn't realize back then. So I'm not saying I haven't done a lot. I think I've definitely lived a life that I've lived more in like one. If I took 1 year of my life, would be enough for a lot of people's lifetimes. And I recognize that as a child. I remember when I was young that I would go back through my experiences, and I would listen to, like, when I used to sit and listen to veterans talk about their life. And I realized that I'm experiencing a lifetime's worth of moments and lessons and experiences so vividly in 1 year that most people I'm seeing talk about their life the same way. So I understood even as a child that I was going through, like, every single year there was a different theme, and I'd be going through a whole different thing. But it makes me sick. I don't know how people can watch it. I don't know how people can silently watch me suffer. It makes no, like, even I'm broke. I get money from donations. I've only ever had 3 donators. But if I come across a YouTube that somebody's doing worse than me, I'll talk to him. I'll talk him through getting to a better point, and I'll send him what I have. Like, there's a tarot reader that has a child, and he's struggling to get groceries. So he's trying to do his tarot reading that I helped him get food. I'm helping homeless people in town because I have a propane tank and they don't. So if it gets cold enough, I know I'm going to live. Because I stole a $7 propane tank for the heater. So I ride into town and make sure everybody else is doing good. And it's just me and a bunch of people on Suboxone. But yeah, it's below freezing. I think the only way to fix the world is if America falls. I don't know what it's like in other countries, but I know America's been so diluted. They have no idea their culture was based off of raping Indians. For the most part, if you're white and you're not Irish, your ancestors' day consisted of waking up and beating people and traumatizing them every way that they wanted to, raping them whenever they felt like it, and then going to bed fat, and then waking up the next day to beat and rape them again. And that was one of your ancestors' entire lives. His entire life was beating and raping. And we know that epigenetics is their life experiences is the code in which your blood is formed. Your DNA is based off of the lifetimes of all of your ancestors. So to me, it seems like there's an obvious divide that I think an artificial intelligence is working us through cyclically to make sure all of us upgrade our DNA. So they're putting people through their genetic tests, and I think the Akashic Records is like the cloud. I think that all of our DNA went up. I think that all of our ancestors' experiences went up somewhere. And I think that time, it probably isn't linear, but our bodies are. So our souls come down to upgrade our bodies' genetics. Something's telling me it's more than that. And that my ancestors are saying, none of you, you all don't deserve to know. So I told you I got back on food stamps because I couldn't get anyone to hire me. And the only place that would hire me, the environment was so toxic, I couldn't even go in there to get food. So I knew if I stayed there, I'd get violent and go to jail. Yeah. Tarot readers told me that you guys will watch when I play, I am a victim, but I know if I go live when I'm having a bad time, it'll make that's what they've told me, that's what you guys like. You guys like when I'm suffering because it makes you feel better about your lives. When I'm winning, you hate me, and that's when I get no viewers. When I'm happy. I went fishing and I caught a bunch of let's do a house tour. Bam. I got Dr. Pepper. I got these things that I'm going to feed with tomorrow. I'm going to try to befriend them and see what happens. And I got my Ben & Jerry's. I'm getting fat as hell because I'm eating Ben & Jerry's every day. Somebody donated me 100, and I had run out of food stamps, so I was eating McDonald's every day. Got down to $32 I have. So I'm gonna go. I don't know. So I'll sit in my tent and I'll think, man, I should get fishing. I should go steal fishing line from Tractor Supply. If I steal fishing line from Tractor Supply, I can start to sew all of my sleeping bags together. And then once my sleeping bags are sewn together, it will be easier to carry. And it will be less likely of a chance that all my shit gets robbed as I'm trying to transport this 10 miles north in the wild east. Then I go downtown to charge my phone at a park, which is like going to war because the police aren't on my side and the white people are insane and they're violent and they wear sunglasses and they stomp around waving their arms, battling each other for energy because none of them have an active sex life. So I go there with these people that can sleep and can exercise, and I can't, and I'm suffering with the crows. So I have to fight them off, and we're not even sure if they're real. And then some random stranger comes up to me. Every month there's always a random stranger that will come up 3 times, and then I never see him again. And every month it's a different person. And usually they're the zodiac sign of that month. So this month, for October, there was a guy that had exactly what I needed. He had the bike parts that I needed to fix my bike. And he walked up after the last character. Remember the kid with the Game of Thrones cloak? Because my MK Ultra handlers will pass off to the other guy, whatever gets transmitted through their conversation energetically, whatever demonic spirit or aliens or whatever that's jumping through the 5th dimension through into the next NPC body, the soulless NPC body. So, and that has to be observed in order to be real, right? In quantum physics, you need to have the observer. So, and that's why they have you all stare at Taylor Swift when she does satanic rituals. But So my MK Ultra handler passed itself off to this guy, and this guy had all the bikes. He had all the bike stuff I needed to, because I need to get out of here. And in order to get out of here, I needed a cart on the back of my bike. So this guy showed up with the cart on the back of my bike, back of his bike. And I never got it because I went to jail going to steal him the part. He sent me on a quest that I wound up in jail for. But look at all the events that have happened since. You know, I might get money from a lawsuit for what they did to me. The guy that turns out it's the same character for years. 2 years ago, he ripped open my car door in the middle of winter and he put his hand on my steering wheel. And he questioned me for 10 minutes about why I was in town. Because somebody said I was dealing drugs when I was just sitting in my car eating McDonald's where everybody else was. Then the next year, he swerved his car at me like 6 times trying to scare me. And then this year, he got out of his car in the middle of the night. He walked up. He didn't say anything at all. He got so close to my face that his dick was in my face and I had to move. I went live, and then he wouldn't speak until I went live. Then I went live. And he said, I don't even remember what he said. It was probably like, treat me with respect, I treat you with respect. And I was like, yeah, that's how life should be, huh? He walked away. And then he came back like a snotty preteen talking a bunch of shit to me in the middle of the woods. And he didn't have my ID. He'd only know where I was from watching my YouTube channel. So he's obviously pissed that nobody liked him on the YouTube, unless he's not real. And then I refused to cooperate with somebody that was trying to make me feel unsafe. And I was just waiting for him to change his tone and treat me with respect. And he got worse. He got more emotional. He got more violent. He was throwing his words at me like he was trying to hit me. He was like talking like this. And I'm like, I'm not going to do it. And then I'm the only one in these woods. The other cop goes, Casey, come out. And I had been repeating myself for a half hour saying, I'm not going to come out. I'm not going to come out. He could have said, Flamungo Luagungus, come out. And I would have continued saying, I'm not going to come out. But because he said Casey, he said that gave him confirmation of my identity, which allowed them to rip open my tent flap, mace me, rip me out. And I couldn't breathe. They put me in torture cuffs where they had my hand so bad. Look, you can't really see it. There's still a mark. It's been 2 weeks. And they put my arm in a way that felt like it was dislocating my shoulder. And then he kept trying to pull me back, and I didn't realize what he was doing, but he was trying to get my shoulder. And then at the very end, when it didn't work, he tried one last ditch effort to rip my arm, and it didn't work. And I spit in his face. But I couldn't see. I had pepper spray in my eyes. I couldn't see where I was spitting. If he hadn't yanked my arm backwards, I wouldn't have been able to spit on him because I was being helped into the ambulance. Here's the sirens on cue. Because it's a matrix. It's trying to steal my consciousness and keep me in a state of fear where they can control me. While everyone watches. Or just doesn't care. And I think the Bible has a specific text about people like you that do nothing. My ancestor said, you've successfully alienated your fan base. Now they're playing, wait, they don't love you like I love you. Wait. There's nobody in the chat. What's my charge at? 11. Wait, they don't love you like I love you. Wait. I want to thank Heather for donating me enough a couple weeks ago that I was able to save up and get this parka. It's the only thing that's keeping me alive right now. It's been dipping below freezing, and my legs and my hands get so cold, but I wake up and my chest is warm, so I'm able to put all of it in the jacket, and I'm able to make it through until the sun starts to come in and all this radiation from the sun and whatever else is causing the temperature to be this way. I'm pretty sure Antarctica is going through something huge right now. Isn't there like 80-foot waves crashing into the entirety of Africa and going all the way up to Canada? Wasn't there like a giant black mass of something that people don't know what it was that has been shooting out of Antarctica since the moment of the eclipse? And it's been covering the entire Atlantic Ocean. Something's been shooting out of Antarctica that we don't know what it is. And it creates 90-foot waves. That is more than 10 6-foot-tall people stacked on top of each other. I don't know how big 90 feet is. Is that just the size of a building? People are saying that it's not normal to have 90-foot waves that are covering the entire ocean. So they're preparing to just wipe us out. But I have 10 or 15 tarot readers every single day calling me out by name almost. And today they called me out by name. But it happens like once a month. They actually can tune in and get my name. But usually if they don't get my name, they'll find like 33, they'll find Sagittarius, Aquarius, Taurus, they'll find green. Some people see the logo. And I've told you guys about how my life is a Truman Show and it's been staged since I was born. And it's just like the same recurring 7 or 8 names. Like I would try to get I looked up at the stars and asked for a guitar. And then I got an ad on my phone on Facebook Marketplace for a Stargazer guitar from somebody named Daniel Johnson. Daniel means anointed. And he's north of me. I had to take a 2-day bus ride to go get it. And then tried to go there. The tarot reader said, don't do it. I didn't do it. Turns out the guy would have ignored me anyway. Fucking pussy. Looked at my profile and decided I'm just going to wait till somebody else buys it. Took him 3 months of panicking, trying to get that guitar sold, and nobody would buy it. Not 3 months, 3 weeks. And every day I was like, yo, if you change your mind, LOL, come on. I just don't want to take a 2-day bus ride for someone that won't answer me. But I'll just cash app you $25 for the guitar, and you can hold it, get the money you're looking for, because you're obviously panicking. And he was a normal, well-dressed guy that works for CCV. I don't know what he's got going on. But they're probably all in the apocalypse. He's probably fighting off hordes of waves of crackhead energy that I mastered in 2020 when I was trapped downtown Brattleboro, the toughest town in America. Everybody else is kind of on level 1, and I'm on level 35. Yeah, so I didn't get the guitar from Daniel Johnson, the Stargazer guitar. Then the only guitar in my area is a Johnson guitar. I came to this place to meet someone named Jesse Johnson. 2 years ago, I wanted to hook up with my ex. Wound up on this big, long adventure that's gotten me here. Trying to get a Daniel Johnson's guitar. Didn't work out. Now I'm getting a Johnson guitar. Maybe, if I can get 155. Now, Morristown and Morrisville has not hired me, and I've been trying for months. So I have to go north, and the next town up is the hometown of the guy that tried to rape me at gunpoint last year, that my parents chose over me because he wrote a book, some stupid book on Amazon that people are buying because they're like, I wonder what this is about, and they spend like $350, but so many people did it that he made enough money to live his life. And because of the money, my parents chose a pedophile over their family. I've done nothing to any of them. And they chose a pedophile over me. They'll lie to police to try to have me killed, and they will act like a bitch, commenting random shit under this sick man's crazy mentally ill posts. He's even gone on and told everyone on his friends list that he groomed a minor down in Tucson, Arizona last year, and my family doesn't care at all. I could get raped and my family would be like, he deserved it. I've never done anything to them. They just can't stand to look in the mirror. I don't think my mom's really done anything for me. I thought the world would be a better place if I died. No, I think that I'm the one person that could save the world, and I think that it would be a better place if like a list of 150 people died. Just in my life. What was the point? Oh, after that, there's John. The next town up is Johnson, and then this police brutality question mark happened to me, and then the channel that I learned how to identify what they had done to me and why it was wrong, delete laws. I thought about maybe I should ask him for help, and then he posted a video of a cop from the town that I was sent to by this police station when I went to St. Johnsbury. Someone named Sergeant Johnson is in a lot of trouble for beating the fuck out of a homeless guy for no reason. The guy was jaywalking, and then the cop just got out of the car, ran at him, tased him, pepper sprayed him, knocked him on the ground, and just started beating on him just because the guy jaywalked. Then the cop made up a bunch of shit. There's a certain level of awareness that's easy to reach right now that I often can reach once or twice a year, where I can just completely exit the game. Like, I've learned everything. I'm an ascended master. I'm a 33 life path. When I get through all the trauma and I persevere, I told you, every single moment of every single day, I'm pushing forward, trying to apply my knowledge and hold on to myself in a world that seems designed to attack me every step of the way. But there's like a certain level I can activate because we're conduits of energy, and we're just a filter for the infinite. So there's certain cool things that I can do that you guys can't, that I activate, and then it's just so easy to see what this is. It's just a veil. It's the Maya. It's the illusion. But yeah, it's a test. There's a giant cosmic spider in the sky. and it has billions of eyes. There's a duck straight ahead, laughing at me. It's going, ha 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 ha. And they go directly in front of me. And they don't reveal themselves until I start to ponder in curiosity. And they laugh at me. Let's see. You don't have to, maybe, the guitar would be nice. It would just be general delivery at Hyde Park at the post office. I thought about making a list of things that would help. I'm looking at, because if the snow falls on this, I'd want a second tent to put over this. This is like a 4x7, so I would try to get like an 8x8, and then I would insulate this, and then I'd have another tent to keep the snow off. Then I'd get in the boot room, I'd have snowshoes, and then I'd have a Jackery power station, and I would have the a propane tank with the hose that comes into the Mr. Buddy heater. Once I had the Jackery power station, I could also run a separate, smaller electric heater, and I could charge my phone. The computer I want is like 1200 probably, an Acer Predator Triton. The fucking Apollo motorcycle or something like that. I was thinking, like, how do I get from where I can set up a shop deep in the woods? But I'm headed up to where there's a gas station. But hopefully I could get this lawsuit, or just some sudden wealth at some point. I don't know how. But I was thinking, like, for winter, the tent, and then if there's like for 55, there's a military extreme cold sleeping bag. I figured if I have the sleeping bag, I do have a pair of broken snowshoes that I'm thinking, because these boots are destroyed on the inside. They're not going to make it through the winter. That's up to you guys. I don't want you guys to lose your resources. You feel me? I don't want you to... I'm out here doing this, like, part of the reason I'm doing this, and I'm not just, like, going somewhere else, is because I feel like there's nobody else out there that's really doing it that I'm seeing, that see it the way that I do. Like, you can find, like, Hobo Gear that does tech reviews, that's homeless. You can find, like, Epoch of Friar Tuck. But for the most part, they're like, I've already ascended past their levels. Like, Epoch of Friar Tuck is still on live streams trying to get he's not as purpose driven, and he's older, but he's been homeless for a long time too. But I figured if I can figure out exactly what we need to be able to move, set up camps every day, and then even in the worst part of it, because I'm figured the reason I'm probably extremely depressed to where I can't move is because I'm finding out new ways to break out of that, and I'm finding out what matters and what doesn't. So I figured that, like, the extreme depression I have in homelessness like this is because I'm figuring out a way to live outside of the matrix. So that's what's keeping me going right now. I figure the main thing that we're dealing with is that we need the phone, and to get the phone you need an outlet, and if you need an outlet you have to deal with the matrix. So I had this one that has 5,000 milliwatt hours. That's dope. I thought that it ran out of charge. Turns out it was just cold. That's why bike with a bike rack, the bike cargo in a container, Jackery power station, tent, and then in the winter time we'd need like a second tent, tarps, which I have tarps, and then I'm thinking it's got to be the military extreme cold. That's got to be the way to go. And then Heather, are you still here? Is it only Heather in the chat? Okay. I had a revelation about you, Heather. Because I don't know if you've realized, but your name means a weaving of fabric. Like a pattern. So I had this thought that you and Brian probably have tons of the best scriptures. And I thought about doing something called Kingdom Clothes, where in your garage we throw a sewing machine, an embroidery machine, and an embossing machine, which makes the puffy letters and the puffy designs, and set up a Shopify store where you can run ads, where it's just you find someone that wears the shirts, you take pictures of the bodies in the shirts. I have tons of cool designs that are unique and different, that it's like people like to wear it when they go to work, like when they're in the gas station, and then the people behind them in line can read what the shirts say. So the shirts can have specific scriptures. And then that would give you something to do. It's just like you wake up in the morning and you have a certain set of how many people bought, and then you just go to the screen printer and a sewing machine, whatever, and you make the designs, and then you send them out. And then, you can usually get like a whole pack of t-shirts for really cheap and then sell them. People will buy like $40 shirts that's $30 profit per shirt. And then if you have it in mass to a lot of people, that's a ridiculous amount of money. And then you can outsource it to a separate warehouse with people that specialize. So like you find a warehouse of people that are doing it for like 15 other people, that you just get in a contract with them that they now make your shirts. So you no longer even have to do it yourself. You have other people. It's just you're not even involved. You're just going on your phone and clicking buttons. So I figured that would be a good idea for you to get out your creative needs, to start making stuff that helps other people like you wanted to do. And that would be fulfilling for you, hope, maybe. And then even if you had that going, you could reach out to other people and offer to sell your shirts for them with a discount through their YouTube channels. If you had like Christian people that you watch. Yeah, but I think we're depressed because it's making us stronger. I think we're learning skills on how to persevere. I'm so much more than I was in 2020. And I thought that was the worst thing that I could have gone through. And then every year they get me again and again and again. But at the end of the day, I'm so proud to be who I'm becoming. So just kind of take it on the chin. I'm learning new and you never lose yourself. That's the crazy thing is no matter how much I'm going through, I'm still able to in one snap of my fingers, I can revert back to who I was. And then I realize how much better who I'm becoming is. But isn't it like we're going through every single day? Like when you wake up to when you go to sleep, it's you wake up and you're fighting. Like we were thrown into a gauntlet. I seem to have to train people in humility. And then when I find people that are humble, they're way ahead of me in some type of game involving emotional energy that I don't want to play. I don't like the game. I don't like the emotional energy game. But I know I'm going to, just because of who I am, I'm going to have mosquitoes on me my whole life. So I'm learning to deal with it. If I'll put in the comment section of this video, I will put the general delivery address for Hyde Park, and then just comment under it. I'm trying to I'm trying to get this cold weather sleeping bag. Depends on the tent, I don't know. Some guys offer me a really good deal. I don't want a giant. I might get it, like a giant one might help, but I also don't have. I was trying to get, there's this wagon down the road for $50. And then there's a nice big metal wagon that you can get, like a garden wagon, for $100 at Aubuchon's. But there is a basic garden wagon down the road. And then I was just gonna attach it to my backpack, and then I was gonna haul ass with that. And I know 10 miles north, there's another place I can set up shop. Hopefully, or just I'm far enough out of the way that the people that would call the police on me, there's less likely of a chance that they'll find me because of the cold temperature, and the leaves are all off the trees now. And I have snowshoes and I have a piece of shit boots. There's a nice pair of boots somebody's selling for $30 plus shipping. So I was gonna get the boots. Then I'm gonna take these boots and I'm gonna duct tape them to the snowshoes. Then I would get the garden cart. Then I would get this other tent somebody was selling for he's selling it for $15, and it's twice the size of this. And then if I wanted to get your tent and do another layer over that, then I'd try to find a hose for the Mr. Buddy heater for the winter. Then I would get the guitar, or I'd get the guitar first and just suffer. But I don't know how the cold's gonna affect the strings. And then I have to get gloves and socks at some point. And then I'd start looking at building a gym out in the woods for the winter. I'd build a pull-up and dip bar. And then I'd just work out all day. And then I'd try to get a Jackery power station, and with the Jackery power station, then I'd only have to come in at night. I'd come in at night, charge the Jackery power station. I'd have an electric heater waiting back at the crib. Then I'd ride back the 10 miles to the place. And then I'd start over and keep going. I'm not really seeing any other option other than send it to a city and see what happens. I think about Ukulele. Okay. I think you guys will be fine. I had a dream that Brian was making YouTube videos, and he would in back like 10 years ago they had Minecraft YouTubers, and the Minecraft YouTubers would update people on their builds. So they'd be like, "What's up, everybody? I'm playing Minecraft, and this is what I built today." And then they'd show off, I added a section to my house, and then I built a little farm, and then I'm doing this. And I really loved those videos. I had a dream that Brian was doing the same thing, but to his house, to your house, where he was like showing off all the things that he built. And he had like the retaining wall, he had fences, he had like a pool, he had another retaining wall on that back drop before the big hill. So he had the one retaining wall, and then the driveway. So there was those big stone blocks retaining wall, and then there was like a gated entryway, and then you go up the paved driveway to your house, and then on the back there was another retaining wall pushing that mountain back, and then you had a pool there. But it was hazy because the sky was on fire. We're in the apocalypse, so the sky was on fire. But at that point he had like started modifying the house, so he had a helicopter on the top. He had like a helicopter on the roof, and it was in a cage, and he was like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't have put it in the cage." Meaning, like, how there's like something that opens up in your mind if you imagine taking the helicopter out of the cage, and then you can fly the helicopter around. And then the universe showed me when I was 21, and I had one of the prettiest girlfriends in town, and she was rich, and I lived in her house with a brain injury. And then they showed me one of my snake friends that betrayed me and did a whole bunch of shit to me when I was suffering. And he's 21 now. So the universe showed me him. And pretty much all this life is that he gets up extremely depressed. He just shoves food down his throat. And then he goes and freaks out all day. And they were showing me that my life is kind of the amalgamation of all the energies of my relationships. So that's why I'm suffering, was because I had too close of a relationship to everybody, and I have no boundaries. So all your lives that you're living, because I'm a tree, I guess. So the veil is thin. So whatever is communicating with me has been showing me a lot recently. So I'm gonna go. I'm starting to feel sick. But I have more stuff to do. Let's get some advice. You have to hold on to the idea that things will be better, or else you'll settle. You'll settle and live full of regret. Everything that you do in life, just imagine how much better it could be, while also appreciating what's there. And that's what suffering is for, because it teaches you values and priorities and how to appreciate things. And then you go through long periods of suffering that feels like it's destroying your mind, but all it's doing is cementing you into a better version of yourself after you've grown through that experience, so that when you go back to everything could be so much better, then you have that duality. You're able to see it at a different level. All the suffering that you're going through is making every moment afterwards richer and more fruitful. So don't worry about what you're going through. And then I guess patience is key. With patience, everything is obtainable. Don't neglect your loved ones if you have loved ones. I don't. So I don't really need to worry about spending time with them. But for most people, I'd say, remember, like, time is all we really have. So don't waste it with your head in the clouds when you could be present to the moment with the people that you love. And white pride is based on raping the indigenous. White culture was made on raping indigenous people. They have natural cognitive dissonance. White culture was based on lies. So when you look at it objectively from the outside, you realize that most of what white culture is doing is just trying to perpetuate that lie because they're afraid of the reality when that all fades away and they're back in their body looking around and they realize what they've been doing was wrong. And I didn't realize that that's what was happening. And I had even, like, as a child, I joined that side when I was institutionalized and I lived that way. And that resulted in a lot of bad relationships and a lot of regret on how I treated people because I was trying to fit in with what was obviously wrong. And the woods have been helping me see the woods, and then seeing how horrible white people treat outsiders is helping me find a way to live outside of that. And then I'm rampaging through it every day. So if anyone liked the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna figure things out, man. All right, thanks for watching.